Welcome to another session of our virtual learning. I hope you are all doing well and keeping safe. Good. So, before we begin our lesson today, let's go and watch this short clip on the safety protocols of COVID-19.
Here are some important tips to fight COVID-19, the pandemic. Wash the hands frequently with soap or sanitizer. Soap is an effective weapon to wash away the viruses and bacteria. Avoid unnecessary touching of eyes, nose, and mouth. Use your elbow to cover while sneezing or coughing. Wear a mask if you need to go out for any urgent work to protect yourself, and avoid close contact with people who are unwell. The minimum safe distance is 1 meter or 3 feet. Stay at home if you begin to feel unwell. Most importantly, don't self-medicate. Call your doctor and seek early medical help if you have persistent fever, cough, and difficulty in breathing. Don't worry, not all fever and cough are related to coronavirus. Let the healthcare provider diagnose it and follow the advice given by the doctor. Avoid handshake. Instead, greet people by folded hands and say namaste. Lastly, do not panic. Stay at home and keep social distance. Avoid going out in public. Let's fight this pandemic together. Stay safe.
Welcome back. Now, I want you to look on your screen and study the pictures that have been displayed over there and tell me the actions that people are performing. All right, what are some of the actions? Jump, wash, brush. Very good. Now, when we put all these actions together, there is a word that is given to them. What is that word? They are called verbs. I hope you heard it. Good. Now, you remember our last lesson. We said these verbs, when they form their past tense, they add either ed to them or ed. Do you remember? All right. Now, what did we say these verbs are called? We said they are called what? Regular verbs. Very good. I hope you remember that. So we said regular verbs are verbs that form their past by adding d or ed to them. I hope you remember that. Very good. Now let's move on. Now there are other forms of verbs that do not follow the normal pattern. That is, they do not add d or ed to them. In forming their past tense, their spellings change. Let us look at some of the examples. What do you think the past tense of sweep is? Swept. Very good. Now let's look at another one. What is the past tense of eat? I know you like food very much, so you know it. It's what? Ate. That's correct. Another one. What is the past tense of sleep? Slept. And the past tense of go is what? Went. You are doing well. That's good. Now let's look at another one. What is the past tense of come? Came. Good. And this one, drink. Drank. Very good. You've all done well. Now, when we look at these verbs, we can say that in forming their past tense, they do not add what? D or ed to them, as we said earlier on. So then, what do you think these verbs are called? They are called irregular verbs. They are called what? Irregular verbs. Repeat it after me. Irregular verbs. Good. So what are irregular verbs? Irregular verbs are verbs that do not form their past tense by adding d or ed to them, but change completely, as we have seen in the examples above. Now, look on your screen again and let's do some matching of present tense to their past tense. There are some verbs that are going to be displayed on your screen. Look at them carefully as we do the matching. We have swim, write, buy, see, drive, fly. We are going to match this present tense to their past tense. So, what are the past tense of these verbs? Swim is what? Swam. Write is what? Wrote. Buy, bought. See, saw. Drive, drove. Fly, flew. Very good. Now, let's look at some sentences in their past tense. We are going to use these verbs to form sentences in their past tense. Let's take sweep. We said the past tense of sweep is what? Swept. Let's form a sentence with this irregular verb. Richmond swept the house this morning. Good. Let's look at another one. The past tense of go is what? Went. So we are going to use went to form a sentence. Frederica went to school last week, Monday. Good. Let's look at another one. The past tense of come is what? Came. Louis came here yesterday. Good. I hope you are following. Now, I'm going to give you an assignment to do for me. You are going to change the following verbs into their past tense and use them to form sentences. Look on your screen as the verbs have been displayed over there. All right, now to recap our lesson for today, what did we learn? We learned about what? Irregular verbs. And what did we say irregular verbs are? They are verbs that do not form their past tense by what? Adding d or ed to them. Examples are sweep becomes what? Swept. Go becomes what? Went. Very good. I hope you have understood the lesson for today. And so until we meet again, make sure you stay home and stay safe. Bye-bye.